Also want to just thank the residents of this great town. I'm always delighted and excited to be able to serve the town of Dumfries and these great residents. So tonight, my presentation will include definition, what is a capital improvement plan or a CIP. I'll also provide you with a financial overview, and we'll also get into some of the details of the projects that we have included in the proposed plan. So the Capital Improvement Plan or CIP is an acronym for Capital Improvement Plan. And a capital improvement plan is really a planning tool for public facilities, for infrastructure improvements, major maintenance requirements, and acquisition of land. So the proposed capital improvement plan represents my recommendation to the town council for adoption. So the town CIP includes expenditures and serves as a planning guide towards all of our capital infrastructure. It helps in the development of large-scale projects for which the costs exceed the amounts normally available through our annual budgeting process. So examples will include transportation improvements, park infrastructure, or government buildings. So the CIP helps to ensure that projects are within fiscal reach for the town, despite them being large in size and monetary value. So when developing a CIP, my team and I must consider the qualifying needs, affordability, and debt capacity, as well as the priorities of the comprehensive plan goals. So by definition, CIP projects are typically major construction or acquisition efforts that involve public assets and that are non-recurring in nature. Qualifying projects usually have one or more of the following characteristics: studies pertaining to capital improvements that require the employment of outside professional consultants, construction of buildings or facilities to include design, engineering, and other pre-construction costs, or major acquisition of land or property. So capital improvement planning requires the town to address the challenges of balancing our capital improvement needs with available financing. So this process contributes to our solid financial foundation and is another example of fiscal best practices. The CIP provides the town with a stable financial program for a 5-year period of time, given set revenue and expenditure assumptions based on current economic trends. As a management tool, the CIP allows us to coordinate various town improvements so that informed decisions can be made and programs can be initiated amongst town departments in an effort to avoid duplication. It also provides assurances to our residents and our businesses so that they can know when and if certain public improvements will be made. It also assists in the implementation of the comprehensive plan over an extended period of time. It prioritizes the goals and needs of the community through the provision of new facilities and infrastructure improvements. And because we update the plan annually, it allows us to evaluate our infrastructure needs to ensure public health and safety of our residents. So the importance of adhering to sound financial practices cannot be overstated, particularly as we continue to fight through the pandemic. I want to make sure that I point out that in years past, the town did not appropriately plan, budget, monitor, or execute capital projects. Now, this resulted in uncertainty and confusion from year to year, and it effectively negated all the benefits of a CIP that we just reviewed. But over the last 2 years, my staff and I have worked diligently to bring the town to a place where we are today, where we can confidently present a capital improvement plan for our town. The guiding principles for capital improvement planning are as follows: sound financial condition, which can be defined as cash solvency. That's our ability to pay our bills. Budget solvency. That's our ability to annually balance the budget. Long-term solvency, that's the ability to pay for future costs that we may incur. And then service level solvency, which is the ability to provide needed or desired services. Each project within the CIP that you have before you successfully meets these criteria. Moving on to flexibility, that is a principle that ensures that the town is positioned to react and respond to changes in the economy and new service challenges without experiencing measurable financial stress. So like I said, as we continue to battle our way through the pandemic, flexibility has been a critical aspect for us. We have achieved maximum flexibility within our CIP as all the projects in this CIP are entirely funded by grants and pay-as-you-go cash, thus having no impact on our debt capacity. And then the final principle is an overall adherence to best accounting and management practices. And as planning commissioners and residents, you can have confidence in our planning efforts. The proof positive is that the town was awarded the Distinguished Budget Presentation Award for the second consecutive year and only the second time in town history. So now let's look at the details of the current capital improvement plan. So the key element in capital budgeting is that unlike in the general fund, funds in a capital improvement plan may carry over from year to year. So let's focus on the green column, which is our FY22 proposed. The total we have in FY22 is $100,000. You'll note $25,000 is being dedicated to major park renovations and $75,000 for our stormwater maintenance dry pond. If you'll note at the bottom, the source of funds summary, in FY22, these projects are funded entirely by cash from the general fund or from our stormwater maintenance fund. So now let's get into the details of the individual proposed projects. First on our list is Major Parks Renovation, which is a new project for us this year or for fiscal year 22. And this project establishes a fund to support major renovations to all town parks and any potential future town parks or green spaces. So as we just mentioned, we have $25,000 that we are proposing to allocate in fiscal year 22. Next, we have our stormwater dry pond maintenance. This project supports the restoration of 2 town-managed stormwater ponds. It supports the planned engineering work that is required to ensure that these ponds will function as built. We have $75,000 allocated or proposed in fiscal year 22. You should also note that we have currently spent about $50,000 in the current year, and this project is critical to ensuring our compliance with our MS4 permit. Moving on to property acquisition. As you all are well aware, our comprehensive plan has been updated to reflect a public vision for a new Main Street that is to be characterized by mixed-use development, pedestrian-friendly facilities, and the like. This project is designed to allow us to achieve these visionary objectives by gaining control of strategic parcels along Main Street. Subsequently, the town can use best practices to incentivize development while ensuring that critical infrastructure needs are provided. You will note that no additional funding has been allocated for fiscal year 22. Due to the pandemic, the town has not acquired any property pursuant to this project to date. However, we have about 75 days remaining in this fiscal year, so an update on all of our current capital improvement projects will be provided at least by June. Moving on to fleet management. This project provides a means for ongoing resources to be allocated and to develop a fleet replacement schedule. This project was designed in adherence to best management practices concerning the management of municipal fleets. Again, due to the pandemic, no additional vehicles have been purchased during this fiscal year. However, we do plan to pay off the existing capital lease that we have for some of our police vehicles, which again improves our flexibility going forward and helps with our debt capacity to have that lease paid off. Moving on to the Williamstown Complete Street Project. This project supports an initial feasibility study and public outreach for a complete street plan for Williamstown Drive. Elements of this project, once it's completed, may include widening of medians, additional landscaping, enhanced roadside parking, lighting, pedestrian crossings, and other traffic calming measures. No additional funds have been allocated for this project in fiscal year 22 as staff continues their work in the current year on this project. Next, we have neighborhood street lighting. This project funds the street light installation for certain town neighborhoods. Again, no additional funding for this project in fiscal year 22 as staff continues to work in this current year to implement this project. And finally, in regards to proposed projects, we have our Quantico Creek Restoration Phase 2 project. You all will note that Phase 1 improvements restored approximately 800 feet of creek bed. In Phase 2, we will make further restoration to reduce the sediment and erosion, all in compliance with our MS4 permit again. No funding has been allocated in fiscal year 22 as this project will be fully supported, or we anticipate this project being fully supported by the Department of Environmental Quality's Stormwater Local Assistance Fund grant. And so we anticipate a successful award for that grant within fiscal year 23. And in closing, I wanted to make sure that I share the entire budget review schedule with the Planning Commission. So on April 1st, as required by law, I submitted the proposed fiscal plan to the town council and published that on the town website. All of our fiscal plan documents can be accessed directly from the Town of Dumfries website homepage simply by clicking on the town budget icon. On April 6th, last week, I presented an overview of our general fund as well as the CIP to the town council. And tonight, I am excited to be before the Planning Commission to provide this CIP presentation. Tomorrow, I will be hosting a community meeting or a budget Q&A, if you will. This meeting will also be held virtually, and the information is also available for that meeting is also available on our website. On May the 4th, we are having our public hearing on the budget, the CIP, as well as the fee schedule at the May 4th Town Council meeting. At any time prior to the public hearing at that May 4th meeting, citizens can also provide feedback on our budget documents in the comment section of our town budget page, or they can email comments to pio@dumfriesva.gov. So in closing, I'd just like to reiterate that not only is our CIP and general fund budget completed in adherence with sound fiscal practices, but we truly believe that we have an excellent slate of projects and initiatives that we are excited to continue and to kick off as we progress beyond the impacts of the pandemic that we are still experiencing today. And so everything that we do is to try to enhance and take things to the next level. And so that is my presentation. I'm happy to take any questions if you have them at this time.